What is going on, fellow Firecasters? That's the front, and we're back again with another Alestrals Moonrise. It is Fire Day. We finally get to see 5 new Fire Alestrals. We know one of them because it's on the thumbnail. It's torching. We know what that's about, but there's 4 others. What are they? Let's get into it.
It's time for us to turn up the heat with some brand new fire cards as we count down every single day until Moonrise pre-orders open on November 15th. Let's get it. Don't forget that if you back our Alestrals Clash Kickstarter right now, you actually get early access to these reveals.
Make sure you go back that Kickstarter. We are like so close to 250,000, which is going to get another stretch goal. I can't remember what it was on top of his head, but we're getting so close. And then like 400k, 500k. I really hope that in the next 12 days or whatever it is, at 17 days or whatever it is, we can at least hit 500,000. I think that'd be great.
One day early, so don't miss out. But let's talk about these brand new Fire Alestrals that are coming to Moonrise. First up is a familiar friend. Cinder is back with 3 attack and 2 defense, and you know this.
Ooh, look at that art, though. I will say that I had the original Cinder, obviously do. This card art is so much better than Kickstarter or base set's card art. Card art for base set, like, it is so bland, it is so boring. This has personality. This has oomph to it. This just, like, you want this in your deck if you're running Cinder. Anybody out there playing Cinder still, you definitely know when Moonrise comes out, you're looking for this card to replace with your Cinder, because the Cinder from set 1 sucks when it comes to just the card art itself. It's just so bland. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of the cards in set 1 are bland. If they get reprints, of course the reprints are gonna look so much better.
This card as a super essential piece to the mill strategy. Every time Cinder receives 1 or more fire spirits, your opponents must send the top 3 cards from their deck to the underworld. This allows you to use Nexus and other mechanics to get spirits onto Cinder and force your opponent to mill cards every single time, and you could whittle their entire deck down as an alternate win condition. Now this card is coming back in Moonrise because it has a brand new Ascension, Salashade.
Oh my god, look at that. Look at that Salashade. Lunar and Fire, obviously, I would figure it wouldn't be a double Fire. That'd be a little ridiculous in Moonrise. But, man, look at that beautiful, beautiful looking Salashade. I want to see a Stellar for this, absolutely. Background looks great. The whole kind of thing looks great. That is just, whoo, boy.
I personally always felt like the Cinder line needed a little bit extra, and we decided to create Salashade to ascend from it with a brand new element added to it. It is Fire and Lunar, and while it doesn't have the most daunting attack and defense stat at 3 and 3, this brand new Fire and Lunar Alestral can do some serious work because it's going to get +1 attack for each Alestral in your opponent's underworlds.
So this definitely feels like a late gamer Alestral. You don't want to put this out turn 1 or 2. Definitely want to put this out like turn 5 or 6 if you got a clash that goes that far. Because if you get this thing out in turn 5 or 6 when your opponent has like 3 to 4 in its underworld, that's gonna it's obviously defense doesn't do anything unless of course you have the Temple of the Sun, the Temple of the Moon, or Volcanic Forge on the field to get that to for defense. But like, my goodness, that attack, whoo, buddy, oh buddy, oh buddy, that's gonna be something. I imagine like you get this in turn 6 or 7, and your opponent has like 4 or 5 for whatever reason in their underworld. That's going to be a 7 to 8 attack Alestral, and that's going to hit over mostly everything that's not a 3-drop.
So if you're playing against somebody and you force them to mill and they continue to mill cards into their underworld, this card gets to...
There's that too, the fact that you can mill with this. If you play this one, say you get this up somehow with a special ascension, or you get this on the field, and your opponent has a couple in the field, they can't get it out in that turn. The next turn, they play something, they have to mill 3. And then you come around to your turn, you put another Alestral in the field, they have to mill another 3. If they got 2 or 3 Alestrals in the underworld because of that, this thing's just going to keep going up. And there's no cap. As we've seen with like Poser and other ones, like Poser like can only get to +4 or 5, I believe it is, when it comes to Alestrals being in the underworld, or spirits in the underworld. Same thing. Like Cryoscorch doesn't have Cryoverse. I mean, Cryoling has a cap because once it hits +6, it either has to ascend immediately or be destroyed. This has no cap. So if you mill your opponent to have, say, 6 Alestrals and like 10 Alestrals somehow make it into their underworld, this will be a 13 attacker. My goodness, can you imagine the terror of this?
astronomical attack levels as the game progresses. When a player casts an Celestial, you or your opponent, an opponent must send the top 3 cards of their deck to the underworld. So Salashade has the opportunity.
Salashade is going to have a lot of, like, for those out there like the Illustronauts and others who play four-way fatal, like four-way free-for-all matches, this card is going to be a menace. Because if I play a Salashade and we have 3 other opponents, every one of those opponents who play an Celestial after I put this down, everyone's going to have to, except for me, are going to have to mill 3 cards off the top of their deck. That is, this definitely I see potential for being a menace in those 4-way tag team type Celestial clashes that people go out there and play. Wow.
To force your opponent to continue to mill themselves every time you or they cast Celestials to the field, ultimately making Salashade even stronger every single time they do that. This next Fire Celestial is going to allow those fire decks to go even more aggro, and that is Bellowbee. I absolutely love Bellobee's design.
What is this? Oh my god, it's adorable! Fire Wind enchanted Celestials get +1 attack. You can target a Fire Wind enchanted Celestial and give it the effect. This Celestial is unaffected by counter runes until the next turn. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's fun. It's only a 2/2, so that's interesting. But oh my god, like, so you can pair this off. Could you imagine pairing this with like a Volt Tempest? Could you literally see yourself, like, if you had this, just threw this on for a Volt Tempest just to be able to, just for a turn, be like, you know what, I'm going to put Bellowbee out here. It's Wind Enchanted, Volt Tempest is. I'm going to, yeah, that would be interesting. There's got to be a Fire Wind that, like, it ascends into for this to make more sense while they're making this Fire and Wind.
One of my favorite new Celestials in Moonrise. This has 2 attack and 2 defense, but a really incredible effect. Fire and Wind enchanted Celestials get +1 attack, including itself. So you can pair this up with Wind Celestials or Fire Celestials and give them a nice buff.
Ooh.
You can also target them as his active effect and give them the effect the Celestial is unaffected by counter runes until the next turn. That means if you pair Bellowbee with a strong Celestial next to it and it has a Wind or a Fire Spirit on it, you can target them and make them immune to counter runes until the next turn. That is incredibly powerful, and you're also giving them attack buff. This card is a great supporter card for fire decks, and I look for Bellowbee to be strong not only in Moonrise, but for sets to come. I think this card has a lot of potential.
Tease for set 5. Tease for set 5 right there. Did you see that?
And I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it. Bellowbee does ascend into a brand new Celestial and kind of ties in that beautiful synergy with Wind with a new Celestial called Infornax.
Infornax. Oh my god. That thing is a wow. That is pretty good. Love the art style, love the art and everything.
Infornax is a 4 attack Celestial that is Fire and Wind enchanted with 7 defense. It has a really cool effect that says you can expend a Wind Spirit in order to return an opponent's card.
Is anyone really running Fire Wind decks out there? I don't know many people out there running Fire Wind decks. When you cast an Celestial or Rune with at least Fire or Wind, you can give this Infornax +2 attack until the end phase, so it could go up to a 6. Unless you do, like, if I double erupt you while this is on the field, that makes it a +8, right?
Card to their hand, so you can bounce cards back to their hand, and when you cast an Celestial or Rune with at least Fire or Wind, you can give this Infornax +2 attack until the end phase. So the turn he's cast out, he's actually going to get a nice little buff, and then every time you cast an Celestial or a Rune, you can buff him up even stronger. So if you're utilizing a card like, let's say, Gorgon's Gaze, or let's say Shield of Achilles, or any of those typical cards, and you're utilizing Fire and Wind Spirits on your opponent's turn, you can buff up your Infornax as well. So some really cool potential with this card. I think this card could actually see some really significant play, especially with Bellowbee entering the meta. I'm really excited to see the synergies between Fire and Wind come together here in Moonrise. Get excited, but we're not even done. I've got one more Celestial to reveal, and that is Torchin. Torchin will be one.
This is what I've been asking for. We have Recovery.
One of our holo rares in Moonrise, and this Celestial was first revealed through Elestriad Season 1, and I just love him. I feel like he really...
I also think this is the Celestial you see on the Dense Fog card, except it's not, of course, because it's Dense Fog, you can't really tell, but I think that's the card in the Celestial it is.
Carries the spirit of Celestials, and this is a card that you're going to see a lot of. I really love Torchin. It's a 1 attacker with 1 defense with a super cool effect. You guys have been asking me for a Fire Heal card, so...
Finally, and I said this a couple weeks ago in the Discord, I said Fire needs a heal card. and everyone was like, Ash Rabbit is your heal card. I'm like, that is not heal. You get one back most of the time, and most people aren't using it for Nexus Bank. I mean, yeah, there was the FTK where people would do that, and you would be able to do that, but no. This is proper recovery, and this is probably one of the best recoveries. Yes, I'm not a big fan of the 1-1 because it'd be cool if you could keep this on the field for more than one turn. But yeah, you have to put in an attack position. You go with an attack. You get, if say I have Torching on the field, I have Hephaestus, I have the hammer on it, and I have the stadium on the field. All of that's lit up with fire, and I get this thing which would be at it'd be at a 4. It'd be at a 4 with a 4 with all that. So it would be at a 4 attack. But I attack, say there's nobody, say they just cleared their board state and they don't have anything on the field and I play this Torchin. I attack with it. If I say I have 4, I'm sorry, I have 1 on Hephaestus, I have 2, I have like 5. I have 5, and I have 5 in my Underworld. I attack, I get all those spirits back.
So I gave you Torchin, man. When this Torchin declares an attack, you return fire spirits from your Underworld to your spirit deck up to the number of enchanting fire on your field. So if Torchin's your only thing and you attack, you get to heal 1. That doesn't seem like very good. But if you pair it with a divine rune like Hephaestus with 4 spirits on it, you have the opportunity to heal 5 by simply attacking. And you might say, Adrian, how is Torchin going to attack when it only has 1 attack? Well, don't forget, you can attack into defense position Alestrals and just have nothing happen because there's no damage that you're taking. You just...
Oh, so that is so good. The fact that you can still attack into defensive Celestials just to get that heal back. I'm going to need this to be... If this is not in Shattered Stars when they come to the fire again, what are we doing here? This has got to... Because it's a holo rare. And Shattered Stars is getting a lot of the holo rares to become commons through Shattered Stars. This better be in Shattered Stars because... Yeah, I'm going to have to definitely try and hopefully I can get one. If I can get one, if I get a starter deck or 2 and able to pull it open and get this torch in, I will love it. But I'm not holding out hope.
Just not knocking them out. I'm just saying, you can attack with Torch into those defense position Ash Rabbits and make them punished, healing yourself up for 5 spirits with a Hephaestus. You guys can have fun with this one. I love Torchin. I hope you guys are excited for it. A brand new Fire Alestral coming in Moonrise. Alestral's Clash Kickstarter is going big.
That is your Alestral Fires for today. I am so hyped for that torch, and I definitely got to get at least 2 of those. And I'm hoping 1, it's going to be in Shattered Stars, and 2, it happens to find its way in one of the decks. I don't think it's going to, but it would be so great because my luck of getting what I want out of just the 3 packs that come in for the starter decks doesn't seem to go too well. But man, that Torchin's great. The other ones, I don't see myself playing much at all. But Torchin, if I can get 2 of those, I'm absolutely doing that because there are so many clashes where it's like if I just had a way to recover. Like I have Exalt Flare, I have Trifernal on the field, but I have like all these spirits in my spirit world. Let me play this Torchin, attack into the Ash Rabbit, do nothing but get my fire spirits back because of all this. Oh my god, that's going to make fire casting so much better. Finally. Now obviously, the best play for a Torchin is to have Torchin on the field, Hephaestus, Hammer of Hephaestus, and the Volcanic Forge because that's at least 4 spirits plus Torchin, so that's going to be 5 right there. If you have 3 more on Hephaestus, like 2 more on Hephaestus because you had the disenchant to get the 1, that could be 7 fire spirits if you have 7 in your Underworld. So, yeah, Torchin is definitely my go-to, my one chase for sure that I want out of anything that I can get. I'm hoping when we get to, I hope to get it, I'll definitely try and get one. But I'm hoping when we get to Shattered Stars around again and we get whatever, and they're doing fire again, Torchin is in Shattered Stars because I will absolutely get those. I would rather get a Shattered Stars common version of Torchin than having to spend extra money to get a hollow one. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. This is what I've been looking forward to. Getting that Torchin is going to be a must for all Firecasters. But until then, hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.